Hey everybody, it's Chris with Killer Arcade Games, and I'm back for another Gameplay Mondays, and this time, I'm actually recording this on a Monday, so I'm right there with you guys. I really know how it feels now. Usually I record them on the weekend so I can get them out for Monday, but here we are. Also, this is Mortal Kombat 4. You guys know my love for MK4. Hopefully it'll carry through to the video, and some of you guys who hate MK4 might actually still enjoy this, but we'll see. There is a little bit of an issue with recording MK4. If you watch my live streams, you already know. But I thought I'd explain it for people who may just be finding this. This is an Arcade 1-Up cabinet. It is turned into a Mortal Kombat 4 cabinet. And it is running the actual arcade hardware inside. So it's not emulated. It's just in a different container, essentially. Now, it runs off HDMI. It actually converts the arcade board signal to HDMI. And I split that signal off. One goes to this monitor. One comes out, and I usually plug it into the Elgato game capture, and it works fine. It actually works fine when I'm in that software, but as soon as I try to bring it into Streamlabs, it goes crazy. It works for a little bit, and then I get a blank screen saying it can't find the signal, and this happens repeatedly. So I had a plan. I thought I was going to work around it. I was going to use two laptops. One of them was going to be carrying the MK4 signal to the other laptop, and then I realized, oh, I need two Elgato game capture HD, whatever those things are called. I don't have two of those. I'm not going to buy two of those just to record this. So right now we've got my phone facing the screen, all integrated here. So you can't see the deck, but the deck's actually really cool. I'm sad you guys don't see the deck because the deck looks exactly like the actual MK4 arcade deck. It's just shrunk down to fit Arcade 1-Up stuff. This is probably one of my most accurate Arcade 1-Up converted decks that I've got. But anyway, let's get to the gameplay. It is Monday, and we'll see how it goes. I am using my new mics, so I didn't turn the game down. I hope this isn't a mistake.
Outstanding.
It is pretty loud. 1 second. Let me turn it down really quick. I should have done this before, but turn it down just a little teeny bit, which might make it better. All right, so I hope everybody's Monday's going decent, as good as it can be. Mine is fine. It's kind of rainy today, which actually gave me a little bit of free time. I'm going to do this playthrough as Scorpion because he's kind of like my absolute go-to. I do plan to do more of these. Hopefully you guys do enjoy MK4. I'll play through this game with a lot of characters, but excuse me, let's start with Scorpion. And just to make this a little bit longer and more challenging, I'm going to go with the Master 2 tower. Okay, I like that layout. But yeah, so as far as how Monday's going, it's kind of okay for me so far. A little stressful. I kind of own my own business. It's a family business that I will be taking over, but finding employees is the most difficult thing. We finally found a guy, which has been good, but trying to work out the kinks with a new guy, and I hope it works out because I need this guy to do well for us. He's my only other guy, so anyway. I know we've... Oh, that reminds me. I'll get to that in just a second, but I didn't even say what it was. I did want to bring up where I've been. I did make a post on the channel. Hopefully you guys were able to see that. If you missed it, it is on the community page of my channel. And that will show you what I was talking about. Basically just apologizing. I've been basically missing lately. I haven't been doing much on the channel. I even missed Gameplay Monday for the Monday I'm on right now. That's why I was determined to get home today and record something for next Monday. But anyway, basically I'm just very, very busy, and I'm not taking a break or anything. I'm not, not doing the channel stuff, but I do need to probably skip a few video days here and there, not do as many live streams as I was. It's just, summer's always busy for me, but this one's abnormally busy with everything reopening and getting back to normal. And with losing an employee and having to get a new employee, I would love it if I could do this somehow as a job, what I'm doing now, but I know that's not realistic at all where I am at the moment. But who knows, maybe one of these days, you never know. For now, I've got to stick with the sure thing, which is real work, but yeah. So just know that I'm not purposely ignoring the channel, but I just literally don't have time in most cases. I hate that glitch right there. She's supposed to go flying, but instead she just gets to counter my move almost immediately and use another one. Sonya is by far my most hated MK4 character, by the way. She's the Jade of this Mortal Kombat, if you ask me. She's always more difficult than all the other characters. What is happening with the weapon? See, I hit her with the weapon and she just completely ignores it, takes no damage, and then just gets to counter you right away. Like, it's just crazy. I mean, she's truly the Jade of MK4. Let's see if she does it again. Okay, good. That worked. Oh, come on. Should have caught her on that one. But, so a lot of people want to know, probably are wanting to know, why do I like MK4 so darn much? The gameplay, truthfully. It's really all comes down to gameplay. Oh, I forgot I already killed her once. The gameplay is so fast, it's, when it works, when she's not cheating, the gameplay is a blast to me. I just love every second of it. I love the much faster pace. Toasty 3D. I love the faster pace. I just love everything about it. And MK4, the arcade version, is by far my favorite. I know people argue with me, or have different opinions. I'm not going to argue with somebody about their opinion, but people will say, well, MK Gold is the best, and it's like MK Gold is a very good port/expansion to this game, but it's not the same. The character models are much smaller, the graphics are a little different, the sound is not quite there. And I personally don't like Goro in the game. He's in all the console ports too, but I don't like him. He just feels like a hit sponge where you just have to keep mashing at him constantly. I think if you plan it right, I think you can do something like a 10 or 11 uppercut combo on him where you just keep running up to him and uppercutting him repeatedly, and then you'll finally hit maximum damage because he just does not take much damage. The rounds take forever. It just feels like a chore to beat him. Not that he's difficult, really, but that's what it feels like. Boom! So Scorpion's by far my main, by the way, you might be able to tell. Even on the Master 2 tower, the arcade's set to normal difficulty. I didn't change it from the default setting. Makes it a little bit more fun that way. I could beat it. I actually have another video where I beat it with no continues on the max difficulty on this tower with Scorpion. I don't think I could do that with all the characters, but with Scorpion I can probably get it done. He was my kind of go-to when I started playing it, so he's always been my main, but I love playing as other characters on this game. Tanya is a surprisingly really fun character to play with for me. Rico, I like him. Oh, I messed that up. Liu Kang, I've been really enjoying him lately. I can play with almost every character to an extent, but I wouldn't say I'm good with every character. So if you want me to play as other characters, please leave a suggestion in the comments and I will gladly consider it. I mean, unless I think it's just going to be boring to watch or I'll be not good enough to make it entertaining. Wow. Not good enough to make it entertaining, I may skip that one, but we'll see. I love this game so much I'm willing to entertain it. How's that? Alright, you're starting to annoy me now, Reptile. Come on, buddy. This was one of my favorite arcade one-ups that I've ever had. Now, I didn't make this one. This one was modded by actually a viewer of the channel, and he made it for himself, and then he just didn't want it. So he didn't give it to me, but he gave me an unbelievably cheap price for it. Even though I had to drive a long way to get it, it was well worth it in my opinion. I paid $500. I'll be up front with you guys. $500 for this, a fully modded arcade one-up with the MK4 arcade board inside. And if you've ever looked how much those cost, those things are typically worth about $400 or $500 on their own. So it's really nice to get it at such a deal. Let's see. Oh. So let's talk some flaws of MK4. I'm not saying this is a perfect game by any means, but it is probably my favorite Mortal Kombat just because of the gameplay. Now, you are talking to or watching someone who used to, who initially started out mainly in arcades because of Mortal Kombat 1. Mortal Kombat 1 was the game that got me into arcades. I was there in '92 when it came out, I mean, it's not like I started on MK4, I just grew to love MK4 a lot more, I think. But the flaws of the game, let's say, flaws would be, there's no real boss, and I know I just crapped all over them for adding Goro to the lineup on the consoles, but still, Shinnok is kind of a weak boss. All he really is just, he's like a regular character with the difficulty raised way up. And that's kind of annoying, actually, to me. He doesn't have, okay, whatever. He doesn't have any of his own special moves. He literally has none other than being able to turn into other characters. Not physically, he can just do it by name, but even the AI doesn't do that when you're playing against them. So really, the only way to beat him is block a lot, try to hit him with a bunch of combos, even if they don't land. If he blocks them, just keep doing the combo. Like that go back up to him, do the same thing if you can, look for any weakness you could possibly find, and that's it. He's just not a very exciting boss. Oh, I'm dead. Or not dead, but punished. I love this weapon, though. You just mash high punch with him up close, and you'll get a max combo almost every time. So yeah, he's not the best boss. I think he's the biggest flaw in general. I used to think the endings were a bit of a flaw, but now I'm starting to look at them differently because somebody pointed out that they're so bad that they might have been intentionally bad. Like the acting was just horrible. The famous, if you watch my live streams, the famous Jax ending is the best. It's just so cheesy and weird, and I love it. It's funny, but somebody pointed out there's no way they would have hired actors that bad, so maybe it was planned. And if that's the case, if it's supposed to be campy and cheesy, then that's fine with me. I think they did their job. It's very frustrating to me that I can't record this screen perfectly, but anyway. So what I was going to say earlier when I said, oh, I'll get to that in a minute, I've had a comment, and I can't remember who you are, and I'm very sorry, but off the top of my head, I can't remember who's been asking, but I do pest control, and you wanted to know the worst, I guess the worst job I've been to, or the worst house or something, and I don't have too many that are like one specific one that's just horrific. I have just a collection of bad ones, unfortunately. And one of those would be a restaurant. I'm not gonna name the restaurant, but it's in San Antonio. It's like a famous old restaurant. And we were called there to do, we usually don't do restaurants, by the way, but I guess they were feeling frisky at the time and like, let's do it. And we had to go in at night after everyone was gone, and my God, you will not believe the amount of roaches in that restaurant. To give you an example, in the kitchen, you walked in there, and if you opened any one of their freezers or refrigerators, in the seals all around the freezer and the fridge were German cockroaches, and they were everywhere. And when I say everywhere, there was literally probably, in one fridge alone, there could have easily been hundreds. And that was just one fridge. This was a pretty large kitchen. They were in the attic. They were in the ceiling tiles above. They were in every single little crack and crevice you looked in. If you pulled a flashlight out and looked in a crack between some of the cooking equipment, you're going to see German cockroaches in between there. And literally the place had easily tens of thousands of them. And that's just how those roaches do. They multiply very, very quickly in dirty conditions, and they will really just go forever. And you cannot really get rid of them yourself. You need to have pest control, or you need to have some professional who knows how to deal with these roaches, has the proper chemicals, and anyway. So that really disgusted me. We went up into the attic, and I couldn't believe how many roaches I saw up there alone. To make it even worse, this is what really added insult to injury. How we got the job was we were sitting there at the table eating one night as a family, because it is a family business, and somehow they knew what we did. I can't remember how they knew, but somebody came up to us and said, hey, I think we could use your services, which is never something you want to hear when you're eating at the restaurant. Here's the ending, by the way. So we were eating there, then we go there and see how bad it was. Of course, I never ate there again, and still wouldn't, because solving that problem was not something we were able to do. Now, the roaches were so awful in the kitchen. They weren't just in the kitchen, they were in the booths. This is why when I go to restaurants now, I don't sit at a booth, ever. They were all in the booths. I'm gonna shut up so you can watch the ending real quick.
By defeating you, Sub-Zero, I have avenged the death of my family.
It's great, it's the best. Like,
now my soul can finally rest. Your soul will never rest, Scorpion. The Lin Kuei may have been responsible for your murder, but your family's true killer still remains free. If you are not the murderer, then who is? I am the one you seek. To defeat my nemesis Sub-Zero, I needed the power of a Spectre. You've done my bidding well, Scorpion.
I love how they just shortened Scorpion.
I must return you to the Netherrealm.
It's cheesy, it's great. But, so to wrap up the story, since I didn't realize I was gonna beat this game so quickly, oh, bumped the camera. So, I don't sit at booths for a reason. Anytime we go to a restaurant, I'd say, no booth, please, just because. Doesn't mean I'm safe that way, but usually the booth is up against a wall, which may share a wall with the kitchen, and if the kitchen's really bad, they're gonna be in the booth. So you're gonna be sitting there and you won't know it, but the underside of your table, and this is an example of that restaurant, was full of roaches. You flip over a table, there was probably 20, 30 roaches underneath the table. So while you're sitting there eating your meal, there's very likely German cockroaches all underneath the table. They're all underneath where you're sitting. If you set your purse down, if you're a woman, they may be climbing in your purse and coming home with you. And as long as you're fairly clean and get them stopped before anything happens, you're not likely to have an infestation like that. But that was one of the most horrible experiences ever. Going there at night wasn't for me anyway. I don't work weekends, I don't work nights, and having to go there at like 10 o'clock at night was like, this is awful. I don't know why we took the job, but the place was very, very, very bad off. Very filthy. I mean, filth everywhere you can imagine, and that's why the roaches were able to take off. So if you have tiny roaches in your kitchen right now and you're not sure why, no offense, but you might be a little dirty and you may not realize it. I can't tell you how many times I go to people's houses and they have filth everywhere and they go, I don't know why I have these roaches. Now, if you have the big American cockroaches, is what they usually are and what most people see and they're freaked out about, don't worry, it's usually not because you're dirty. It's probably because you have a lot of leaves outside or they just come inside. Sometimes they want water, sometimes they're in your attic, and sometimes they just come on down into the house. So anyway, I will have another, if you guys aren't totally disgusted by this Gameplay Monday, by the way, I can potentially have another one of these stories ready for you at a later date. I'm not going to constantly gross you guys out with them, but I always like to tell that one. That's not the only restaurant story I have, I just realized. Oh, Lord. So, a Chinese buffet. Never been back to one since. Once again, they're eating in uniform. Can we get your card? That's never a good feeling. Never, ever, ever a good feeling. And it was possibly, I completely forgot about this one. This one was actually on the news. It was so bad, by the way. So maybe I'll tell that story next time. If you want to hear that story and you made it this far, leave me a comment. Let me know if you want to hear it. I completely forgot about that one. That one, I think that one's more disgusting in a way because it involves the buffet and food and anyway. So keep that in mind. If you don't want to hear another one, just don't say anything. I won't even bring it up again. But somebody wanted to hear bad stories from pest control. And unfortunately, that's one of them. I have a few bad homes I've been to, and I could tell a few of those too down the line, but really, the Chinese buffet is the one you want to hear about, probably. That one is scary and educational, potentially. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry it was so quick. I think we're only at about 15, 16 minutes here, but I'm pretty good at getting through this game quickly. I do plan to do some different playthroughs now. I think after this, I may even record another one just so I have it ready. So if I get busy, at least you guys will have another one to watch. And you're going to start seeing different games. So get ready for that. Also, leave me requests. If you want me to play as certain characters through certain games, let me know. If you want me to play certain games, let me know. I can't guarantee I'll be able to do it. It has to be something I can emulate or already have in the house here and easily do, but just let me know. Hopefully your Monday is going well. If it is, just go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know how Monday is on top of that. I really want to hear about that. I'm still baffled that this is actually a good thing for you guys. I shouldn't say baffled, but I'm surprised that this is actually a good deal for you guys. I didn't know if people would like this idea, but it seems to be widely well received. I haven't had anybody say this is dumb or boring, so thank you guys so much. These are by far my easiest videos to record. I get to actually play my games when I'm busy and just call it work for the channel. So thank you guys so much for that. I'm going to try to start getting more videos out and try to get a live stream in here and there. If you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing. In the winter months, I'm way more active. I can get a lot more stuff done because I'm not nearly as busy with work, for one. So subscribe for more, please. Leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Leave me a comment. If you want to hear the disgusting China, or I don't want to say the name of the place, Chinese buffet place, please let me know. And I hope you guys are having a good Monday, like I said. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.